Okay, so I'm currently sitting on my desk because I'm honestly too lazy to stand up for an hour or however long it's going to take to film this video. Plus, I sort of like the aesthetic of the calendar I made. I mean, obviously I didn't make the entire calendar. I just sort of added the leaves around it, but nevertheless, it's a creation of mine and I think it looks cool. So if you're confused about what this video is, it's sort of my entry to Sorella Moore's Advanced Selfie Challenge, who, if you don't know, genuinely posts hella awesome stuff on both her Instagram and her YouTube channel, so you should definitely check her out. But also to give you some insight about how I take my own photos, how I compose them, what the ideas behind them are. Things I've honestly been doing since late 2017, but I've gotten more into over the past year and a half or so. And every so often there's people asking me in my Instagram DMs where I found the location and who's taking my pictures. Me. It's me. So anyway, as soon as I heard that Sorella was doing this advanced selfie challenge, I decided that it was high time to put up my first video on this YouTube channel and just sort of use it as a drive to get into YouTube again because, yes, the rumors are true. I had a previous YouTube channel. If you knew, you knew. If you don't, you don't. So before I show you some short footage on how I take my own photos, I'd like to talk on why I do self-portraits most of the time. And that honestly stems from me being a perfectionist. Don't get me wrong, like I've always had friends who were willing to take my pictures and like wanted to help me out, but self-portraits, at least in my opinion, give you a lot more comfort in exploring different poses, different perspectives, and just be weird. Whereas with other people, there are so many talented photographers, models, artists, editors, but it's also codependent and they have to bring themselves together to compose this beautiful shot, which I just like doing myself. Also, I wanted to discuss why I choose to post certain photos and what the purpose behind them is and what my photography really explores. Because it's a lot of things. Because I truly believe that people are all encompassing and they're not just this one thing or this other thing. People have layers and layers to their character, which often doesn't get shown in social media. And I get it, because whenever you're in a reality TV show or on Instagram or whatever, you choose what to cater and what people get to see. Whether that's just you looking your best, doing some sport, painting, doing maybe other whack shit that the majority of people don't get. Social media gives us the ability to control our own narrative. And one of my priorities on my Instagram is to normalize acting, because we all get it. Of course, some of us worse than others, but it just sucks how taboo that is, and everyone tries to Facetune out their pimples and make themselves look perfect. And don't get me wrong, I've done that a plethora of times and I still even do it to this day, because sometimes a pimple or two can really offset a certain picture. However, the important thing is to not get carried away, and sometimes I have to remind both myself and my followers that yeah, I do have acne and it's totally fucking normal. Other themes I like to explore are violence, drugs, cigarettes, all of which I'm strongly against. I can understand finding the beauty in all of them because I truly feel that everything has a certain aspect of beauty in it. The important thing is to differentiate between aesthetic and abuse, both physical, mental, and addiction. In my opinion, a show that portrays that well is Euphoria, because obviously you like the cinematic scenes, but you also get to see the rough side of things, which is a message I often try to portray. Sorry, it's unintentionally kind of my thing to always film during sunset for some reason, but yeah, going back to the aesthetic behind my photography, I love the color red and sort of everything associated with it, like glamour, violence, blood. And I know it may seem hella weird from a third person perspective, but I've never found death scary. I know during these times it's something to take very seriously, and trust me, I am, but more on the aspect of aging, growing old, and just living your life. I've just never feared that, because to me it's sort of pointless to tremble at the idea of something that's out of your control. But yeah, maybe I should do a whole video about that, because I'm definitely going way off topic. At the end of the day, whether you're doing advanced selfies, taking other people's portraits, or having yours taken, you should just know what the drive behind that is. I'm not saying that every one of your posts should have these long captions and thought-provoking messages behind it. Sometimes maybe you just want to post a thirst trap, and that's totally fine. The important takeaway really is to just not live and post on autopilot. You should be proud and passionate about what you're doing, and don't take shit from other people. But anyway, enough of my TED talk, and let me show you how I actually take my #advanced selfies. Okay, so I just arrived at my location and it's almost sunset, so I gotta work fast. But as you can see, here you have some trees and the lake behind that and like some bush kind of stuff. And I know I'm horrible at explaining why I choose certain locations, because I assigned my future brunette self to do this via voiceover, but I just couldn't spare you my presence. I wanted the photo shoot to portray a sort of lost in the forest type of feeling, and usually what I do is just take my phone or my camera and see how things look from a different perspective, how lighting affects the scene, how it reflects off my body, etc. And most of my shots are outside because on top of wanting to do something creative, I also want to show how beautiful beautiful my city actually is. But also I've shot a bunch of photos at home. Just play with lighting and perspective and you always get something out of it. A tip I can give you for location scouting is just go out by yourself for an hour or two, whether that's walking, cycling, or drive around town. Just be aware of your surroundings and I can guarantee you're bound to find a cool place. Whether that's a rooftop on a hotel, a building, visiting the local salt lakes, getting on top of a crane in the middle of a cold January night, you'll always get something cool out of a photo shoot if you just experiment. Now on to the next one. Honestly, it's one of my favorite places to film because it's so picturesque and you get such a good 360 view of the city. You have to excuse the hundreds of seagulls that are passing by and screeching for their life. I honestly didn't anticipate that for some reason. But anyway, we're gonna make do with what we can. And once again, it boils down to trial and error. Because even with a scene like this, I had to try out probably 5 or 6 different compositions in order to get this one right. On a good day, your poses, camera, and vision all align, but sometimes it just takes a little bit more effort. And if you're a perfectionist like me, you just gotta work on your patience and trust in yourself that you're gonna carry out the project. And to finish this off, let's move on to the pearls. Okay, this flash is hella harsh, but I just wanted to capture the essence of the photo shoot I'm doing and talk a little bit about the photo I just posted over on Instagram. Honestly, I've just been seeing a lot of guys over the past months rock pearl earrings and pearl necklaces, and I just wanted to get my own set. I just like the underlying idea of these seemingly delicate pearls contrasting with the concrete wall and then me doing a sort of intimidating pose. Because gender roles are fucking stupid. You should be able to wear whatever you want, accessorize however you want, put however much makeup you want, and no one should give you crap about it. So I honestly very much vibe with the all-inclusive path modern creators are trying to pave. And that's really all that is to this photo shoot. Not everything has to be super complex and thought through. I just got inspired in the middle of the night, which is why I'm speaking more quiet than usual. So like I've already mentioned, even though I do associate an androgynous and non-conformist meaning to this photo shoot, really the primary goal was to have fun. Because that's what social media should be all about. Bringing different aspects of yourself to each photo, video, or tweet you put out. Because yeah, a bunch of people have told me that even though they like my artistry behind my Instagram, I do look intimidating on there. But if you look at my TikTok, it's a completely different story. I'm not afraid to make a fool out of myself because that's a part of my personality too. And of course you don't have to do all of that. I have a bunch of friends that barely post anything on social media because that's not really what they care about. At the end of the day, what's really important is to realize your priorities and do whatever feels authentic to you. Anyway, I know this is the most impressive advanced selfie to leave you guys off on, but if you like this video, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll make a part 2. So that was all for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and turn your post notifications on for more fun content. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram for other cool and maybe even thought-provoking posts, and definitely check out my TikTok. You're gonna have a blast, and I'll see you in the next one.